100 years ago, parents often arranged marriages for their children for reasons of family status, wealth, political gain, or tribal stability. This practice is still very much a part of life throughout parts of the world, but here in America, we are blessed to have the privilege of choosing our own spouses. Wonderful as our freedom of choice may seem when it comes to marriage, all too often the responsibility that comes with this freedom is taken far too lightly. Although the divorce rate has been steadily decreasing since the 1970s, the rate in America still lingers around 50%, which means a couple can pretty much practically flip a coin to see if their marriage will last or not. It's not too encouraging. America remains in the top 5 countries in the world for divorce. Contrary to current logic, people living together prior to marriage have the same, if not greater, odds of being divorced than people who do not live together. And the divorce rate increases even more for people who have lived with other partners in their life prior to their spouse. And another thing to consider when it comes to the divorce statistics is the fact that people who marry prior to age 30 have almost double the odds of divorcing compared to more mature couples. It may also shock you to know that couples where one or both claim to be Christian have the same divorce rate, or even in some polls a slightly higher divorce rate than non-Christians. So don't think that being a Christian in any way means that you can drop your guard in these matters. What I'm telling you today is what I wish someone had told me 20 years ago. Before agreeing to marry, consider this. Are you in love with a person for what is inside, what's in their heart, or are you merely infatuated with their exterior, their looks, money, or lifestyle? Too many people marry for the wrong reasons, for exterior qualities that will fade through time. In addition to this, it is extremely important you are on the lookout for red flags, such as drugs or alcohol, violence or anger, infidelity, greed, anti-Christianity, a controlling or mentally abusive tendency. Is your future spouse trustworthy? Whatever you have on your personal red flag list, make sure you are not so blinded by love that you do not see these marriage-wrecking bombs in your fiancé. Remember, marriage is not going to change the other person, nor are you. Don't make the mistake of marrying a fixer-upper. A marriage should last a lifetime, till death do us part. So take your time. Pray about it and be as sure as humanly possible that this is the right person to spend the rest of your life with. Keep in mind you are not yet married, and there is always a slight possibility you and your fiancé never will be married. So having sex with your fiancé is likely still not acceptable to God, and it is a sin. I know that some of you are saying, but we're already married in our hearts, so sex should be okay. All I can say with any degree of certainty is that the two of you need to make vows to each other in the presence of God and know that these vows are binding marriage vows through God. After that, I guess the validity of those vows in a sexual relationship is between the two of you and God, and may or may not be blessed by God. And that's all I'm going to say about the issue of sex. Engagement is a time of not only planning your future life together, but it is also your last chance to possibly decide the other person is not the person God intended for you to marry. Don't rob yourself of this decision by tying yourself to your fiancé, by mingling your finances prematurely. Don't go out buying houses, cars, or pets together. Don't pursue having children before marriage. All of these things can be a disaster and even tragic to negotiate if you are separated before getting married. Build a solid foundation for marriage, not a shaky one hanging by the thread of money, material things, or children. And try not to be overly blinded by love, and do use some wisdom and common sense during this time. Talk with your fiancé about children and how you want to raise them. Talk about your goals and dreams in life, the lifestyle and hobbies you each want to pursue, about jobs and careers. Do this to make sure you are both on the same page and are going to be compatible going into the marriage. Remember, one or both of you will go through changes in life, and it is unlikely the person you marry will be the exact same person 10 or 20 years from now, so be prepared to roll with the changes through the years. And finally, I beg you, do not destroy your marriage before it ever gets started by planning a wedding you cannot afford. The wedding day is only one day out of your life together. The debt and marital fights over money can last for years, and the number one reason for divorce is financial problems. So why shoot your marriage in the foot before it ever gets started? The decisions you make are your responsibility, and only by talking with God and using some common sense can you decide what is the right path for you. That's all for today. God bless and have a great week.